Say what you will about Edward Snowden's motivation or the act of disclosing U.S. intelligence gathering secrets, but the man who sat for his first U.S. television interview last night was calm, articulate, and at times introspective. No sign of strain caused by being isolated in Russia, far away from family and friends, or the enormous pressure of the charges levied against him by the U.S. government. For more on what he had to say, we turn now to CCTV's Jim Spellman. And Jim, this was a lengthy interview. It was the first interview he granted to a U.S. network. Did we learn anything new?
You know, we've heard so much about Edward Snowden for about a year now, but very little about the man himself. So this interview really centered on him. But we did learn a little bit more about some of these NSA capabilities. He talked about the ability of the NSA to spy on people in real time, letter by letter as people typed on their keyboard, being able that close into what people are doing on their keyboards, on their electronic devices around the world, really. But mostly what he focused on was the scale, that not only the scale of what the NSA is doing, but how that scale drove him to his actions. Let's listen to a little bit of Edward Snowden.
The NSA, the Russian intelligence service, the Chinese intelligence service, any intelligence service in the world that has significant funding and a real technological research team can own that phone the minute it connects to their network. As soon as you turn it on, it can be theirs. They can turn it into a microphone, they can take pictures from it, they can take the data off of it.
Did we learn anything about Snowden himself?
You know, he's stuck in Moscow. He has no clear future in front of him. His asylum runs out later this year. He talked about wanting to come home. Let's listen again to Edward Snowden.
I don't think there's ever been any question that I'd like to go home. I mean, I've, from day one, said that I'm doing this to serve my country. Now, whether amnesty or clemency ever becomes a possibility is not for me to say. That's a debate for the public and the government to decide. But if I could go anywhere in the world, that place would be home.
So there we heard it, Jim. He wants to go home. He's living a life in exile in Russia. Did he say anything about what that life is like?
Yeah, he talked about that a little bit. There's been a lot of speculation about his relationship with the Russian government. Obviously, they granted him asylum when barely anybody else would even consider it. And last month, he appeared via video link on a call-in television show where he asked President Putin a question that a lot of people perceived as sort of a softball. It's a question designed to make Putin look good. He talked also about being frustrated that he doesn't speak Russian, you know, and essentially not really feeling at home. But he denies having a connection to the Russian government. Once again, Edward Snowden.
I'm not supported by the Russian government. I'm not taking money from the Russian government. I'm not a spy.
You know, it was a very wide-ranging interview, and in many instances, this was the first time we actually got into the mind of Edward Snowden. Did he say anything about what motivated him to take the actions that he did?
Well, he talks about experiencing September 11th, like many people did, and he wanted to serve his country. So he joins the military, but he washes out during training. He broke both of his legs during basic training. So he shifts to working in the intelligence community. Again, he wants to serve his country, but the longer he is involved and the more he learns about the NSA and the massive scale of these data collection programs, he becomes disillusioned, and he starts seeing it as essentially a moral dilemma, where the way he describes it, he has to reveal these things to the public through the press to feel that he's doing the right thing. So you got a real sense of that. Let's listen to him again.
I don't believe the United States is or ever should be a security state. If we want to be free, we can't become subject to surveillance. We can't give away our privacy. We can't give away our rights.
You know, here we have a young guy who's under tremendous pressure. I mean, he's in the public eye. He is wanted by the United States government. But what do you make of his demeanor on television?
Well, I thought he was very confident. I'm not sure if you got the same read from him, but he seemed comfortable and confident, especially when talking about the past and what went into making his decisions. It's pretty clear that he knew he would be giving up his life and that there would be serious ramifications. So I don't think it's a surprise to him that it's been a tumultuous year for him. But I thought he was much less confident and much less clear when talking about his future, which is really so unclear for him, where he'll be, what he'll be able to do. Will he be able to contribute in the future to these debates or contribute through his work to somehow, you know, keep being involved and not just be the guy who leaked this stuff a year ago. I thought that's where his demeanor changed. But fascinating to see him so confident and loose despite a year of everything he's been going through.
Yeah, well thought out answers, very articulate. Jim Spellman, thanks for joining us.